Welcome to the Happy Black Woman Podcast, the show for ambitious Black women who want it all. I'm your host, Rosetta Thurman, and my mission is to educate, inspire, and empower Black women all over the world to create amazing lives and successful businesses. As a mindset coach and business mentor, I teach you how to achieve your big goals faster than you ever thought possible. And if you're ready to transform your mindset, get out of your own way, and become the woman you know you were meant to be, you are definitely in the right place. Now let's get into the show. Welcome back to the Happy Black Woman Podcast. This is another live on-site recording from Manifest Your Vision 2019. And I'm so excited to have another one of our guest speakers here with me today to share with you a little bit of what we talked about today on day 2 of our amazing event. And you probably already have heard of her, Miss Debrena Jackson Gandy. Welcome.
Hello. Good to be back. Good to be back.
We had such an amazing session today.
That's awesome.
There were ahas, there were there's so much synergy and resonance in the room with your session. So I wondered if we could just hit some of the high points. So for those of you who may not know, Debrena is a best-selling author, relationship coach, speaker. You could read more about her on the website, but what we talked about today was about how to attract and maintain juicy love relationships, which is a topic that I know so many of you are working on for 2019. And so we're going to share just a few of the insights that were shared in the session. So first of all, just Debrena, can you share a little bit about yourself with the ladies who are listening?
Yes. Well, I am all about teaching women how to live juicy lives and be juicy women, whether it's in love, whether it's in business, whether it's in relationships, and just live fully expressed lives, much like you. Mm-hmm. So it's about being happy Black women, being juicy women, and also today, as we talked about, having juicy relationships.
Mm-hmm. I love it. So we're creating juicy, happy Black women.
Juicy, happy Black women. Yes, indeed. The world needs more juicy, happy Black women.
So for the Black woman who wants to have a juicy love relationship, what are some of the things that she needs to know?
Well, as I was sharing today, the first thing to realize is why we have such a horrible success rate, first of all. And the paradigm that we've been taught, that we've been shown, that's been modeled to us is set up for 51% of marriages, for example, failing, which is the highest failure rate worldwide out of 195 countries. And then those that may not be married, but they're in relationships, feeling dissatisfied and unfulfilled. So the first thing to recognize is that we have been fed a model that is inherently flawed. And you can keep trying to pick fruit from the flawed tree, but it's going to keep giving you the results it was designed to give you: frustration, breakdown, irritation, distrust, dishonesty, infidelity. All those are the fruit of the love lies tree. So a starting point is to realize what tree you've been eating from and stop and know that there's another tree.
There's another way.
There's another way. There's another tree. But it's a different paradigm. So it isn't just ABC, 3 steps, do this, don't do this, and just altering behavior. It really is about a detox and a disinfecting because we have been poisoned by the love lies tree. Yeah. So today when we were in the room, and I said, well, tell me about some of the byproducts or the consequences or the results of how we've been doing relationships. And people are going on and on about distrust and low self-esteem and confusion. And then we were asking about, well, what about physical manifestations, fibroids and cancer and obesity and using food to medicate. And these are the byproducts of the current model. Yeah. And so it has you realize that you've been operating from an insane model, and no wonder we have crazy results. Yeah. So then we can just exhale a little bit when we realize it's not just us. Right. Then we can start talking about the new paradigm. But first, what are we in right now, and are you choosing to come out of it?
Yeah, definitely recognizing that what we're doing now is not working as a
Not
collective.
working. Oh my goodness, it's not working. And then for those of us who it's kind of working, there's still huge compromises and still not being your full, juicy, self-expressed, brilliant self. And silent suffering.
Yeah, I think a lot of women mentioned that, today in the session of what happens to a woman when she feels like she has to not be herself in order to keep the man. What does that do to you over time?
Oh my gosh.
But this new paradigm is what I'm interested in for sure. Like, if there's a new way, a different way that we can do things, what does that way look like? And where do we start to even begin the new behaviors?
Well, the first thing is we have to do some healing because the current model is based on a lot of lies. So, for example, love lie number 1, love is found. We are fed that lie, whether it's Valentine's Day commercials, engagement ring commercials, Disney animation films. Love is found out there somewhere in a hymn called A Prince in the Disney classics, or the soulmate if we use our contemporary language.
And in our community, it's called a king. I'm looking for my king. I'm looking for my
Boaz.
Boaz. Yeah.
So that one has different language, but it's still based upon somewhere out there. The one has the love. And when I find the one according to my list that I'm shopping for him against, then I will have the love I've been searching for.
Right.
So it sets up a futile pursuit, and it puts a whole bunch of crazy expectation on men, on these human, imperfect men. And so that's one of the love lies that we have to detox ourselves from, and it is reflected in how we talk. Well, I'm not looking for anyone. I am looking for someone. I'm trying to find. Well, I'm not looking right now. And so our language reveals that we have bought that lie more than we modern independent women may realize. And then when we look at our behavior, it reinforces it as well if we tell the truth about our behavior. Or the love lie that a man completes me.
Yeah.
Women are waiting to exhale.
Yeah.
Women have put their lives on hold until they find the one. And then I'll ask them, so what do you want to do when you find the one? And they have all these things they're going to start doing.
Yeah.
Once they find the one, I said, how about you engage in that now and he can just join you? Oh, I mean, it's like, what?
I had a client who said she was waiting to buy a house because she wanted to wait until she got married so they can pick it out together. And this is years. She could have had a house years ago.
Oh my goodness.
So it is something that's reinforced within our society. Like, you're not complete unless you have a man. Yeah, you have a great career, you're in shape, you are, having fun in your life, but where your man at?
Right. And it's one thing to say that's something I desire, I want to have that experience, but there's another to say you are incomplete. You are not whole unless. That's the lie that we have bought. Unfortunately, it's heavily reinforced in church because I know when I've heard pastors talk about the creation story, well, man was created first. And really, the power position, the most advanced creature, is the latest creation, which was a woman. The iPhone 9 is more advanced than the iPhone 6. And so,
that's true.
And women have the portal to life built into their bodies, the womb. So we have bought a false doctrine because we often haven't gone back to source. We've just gone by what someone has said. We believe that there's a soulmate out there in this world of 7 billion humans. There's only one solitary man with whom we could ever have a deep soul level connection. What? But that's what Valentine's Day banks on. And the one, it doesn't say the several, it's like the one. There's only one. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I was really struck by how deeply those beliefs go, because when we look at, the goals that we are looking to achieve, that women would feel like they're not completely accomplished, or they will downplay what they've done because they haven't reached this pinnacle of achievement, and gotten to wear the dress and say the vows.
That's right.
And so when you look at, all of these lies that women have bought into, how does a woman even begin to recognize that she has bought into these lies? Because a lot of women don't know that they're lies.
Well, the thing that happens over and over again, as soon as I start putting language to it, they're like, yes, that's how I've been feeling. That's what I've been experiencing. So they do know, but they haven't said anything publicly because they think maybe it's only me.
Right, or maybe there's something wrong with me.
Maybe there's something wrong with me because everyone else seems to be waiting for this moment, this marriage moment, and seeming that it's fine. Now, they may be double life in it. They may be frauds, hypocrites. So we have a lot of silence around relationships because we don't want to really let people know what's going on behind the door, because it's often not very pretty. We don't want to, particularly if you are a Christian married woman, a big challenge with a lot of Christian men is porn. A lot of men are porning because they're not screwing literally another woman. Hey, I'm just looking at some stuff. But the eyes are a gateway. And so what Christian woman wants to say, girl, what do you do when your husband, you walk in his office and he's in the home office and he's up looking at, no one wants to ask another woman that because they don't think any other Christian husband is doing that or husband. But if they ask that question, they go, girl, me too. And so there's this silent suffering and this conspiracy of silence that goes on around love relationships. And so many women are disappointed because they did have the day where they walked down the aisle and the whole room stood up as the bride entered. And then after that, the love lies world comes crashing in on them. And so many people are silently suffering. I had a woman I just met who her and her husband were leaders in the church, and the model of Christian perfect marriage and the ones that everyone referred to. And I had just befriended her, but she felt she could trust me, and she called me 3 weeks after I met her and said, you're the only one I can talk to because everybody else has us up on a pedestal. I just found out my husband has cheated for the 4th time in our 25-year marriage. And so there's a lot of that double lifing that's going on. And plus, in Christian households, it's 51% divorce as well. I wish I could say, well, it's at least 1% better. It's not the worst in the world, but Christian marriages are divorcing at the same 51% divorce rate. So there's confusion all the way around and misapplication of Scripture and misunderstanding about Scripture. For example, we talk about in the church, the phrase roles always comes up. The role of the husband, the role of the wife. And so I say, well, show me where in Scripture it says R-O-L-E when God's laying out the divine design of marriage. I haven't found that word in there. We inserted that word. It is not in Scripture. So things like that we think are just part of the vernacular.
It's stuff that we've accepted, and that's how it's supposed to be, and that's how it is. And if it's something different, then it's wrong or bad. Or so.
But my point is often we will say, if it's not in the Bible, then okay, it's not in the Bible. Role is not in the Bible, and you are perpetuating the conversation. So there's so much confusion even in Christendom. Stuff that's not in the Bible, and we're speaking it, perpetuating it. So
interesting. So many women, they come out of the confusion when they hear you speak about these lies, and then where do they go from there?
Well, first of all, it's a huge revelation to understand that they have been indoctrinated from about age 2 or 3, so as long as they can actually remember, and didn't even realize that the installation of these love lies started that far back. And so it's not them personally, but it's them inside of a certain context, doing what you do inside that context where it's the norm, and you look around and everybody else is doing it, but everybody's like drinking the Kool-Aid and getting sick. And so that's a huge deal for women to just first of all realize, oh, this is a paradigm I've been in, and I can get out.
I can get out, right.
I can get out.
Yep. So how do they get out?
Well, there's a lot of ways. The Love Academy was something that came out of me meeting with 8 girlfriends in my living room after my marriage was able to transform as a result of my transformation, as a result of my detoxing from the love lies and stepping into a new paradigm I call the love truths, which gives us juicy marriage and juicy love relationships. So I was sharing with my friends about this journey because I'd been very quiet about it. I was just doing my work. And they said, "Oh my goodness, this is revolutionary, Debrena. You've got to take this on the road." And I said, "Are you sure this is not the same old, same old? I don't want to be recycling." So, "Oh, no. This is so powerful." So that is how I launched the Love Academy. So that's my full day intensive that I do in select cities. And on my website, milliondollarmentor.net, there's the option to see where I will be next with my Love Academy. I know this is a time-sensitive podcast, but February 9th and February 23rd of 2019, I'll have Love Academy in Atlanta and D.C. respectively. And then so many of my courses, particularly the extended courses like Juicy Woman University, I have a unit in the curriculum that talks about the love lies and the love truths and how can we begin to detox. And to, you were talking today about beliefs and exploring where we got them from and returning them to sender. That's my kind of shortened version of what you were saying. Same thing with the love lies, is we can return them to sender and then start to reorient our thinking, our perception, and our language around the love truths, because for every one of the love lies, there's a correlating love truths. For example, one of the love lies tells us self-love is optional. Focus on loving the guy. Focus on finding the one. Self-love, that's not important. Focus on the relationship outside of you.
That's more important.
Right, so that's a lie. So the love truth is, no, self-love is essential, and actually high-level self-love is essential, not even just love, self-love, because it can be at low levels. So teaching women how to heal and detox. So forgiveness work is part of the work I do, because you can't just say, "Oh, let that go." It's like, hold up, forgiveness has 5 parts to it. And we really want to be cleared, cleansed, and purged of the residue of the love lies, which we carry in our bodies, in our fibroids, in our joints, in our weight. So helping women to cleanse themselves of the lies, step into the truths, and then even build skills. So we talked about speaking manese. That's a skills building piece. And half the books on the market are about communication. So to just explain to women, do you know that men communicate differently? And let me teach you what the difference is and how you can now communicate in a way that a man goes, "Oh, I got it," the first time. And so we're able to get what we want with much more ease and less efforting, because we didn't realize we were speaking womanese. So there's new muscles to work, there's new skills to build, there's healing to take place, there's self-awareness to increase, there's self-love to increase, but it is doable. And, I didn't have another woman to guide me. Mine was more of a spiritual process. So I'm here now to guide women. I have my book, The Love Lies, where the exercises and the assessments and the insights came out of my the downloads, the spiritual downloads that I received for that critical period of time before my marriage started to experience a turnaround, and I started to experience a personal transformation. So now there's tools and resources and courses so that women don't have to do this alone.
I love that. Out of everything you said, it always comes back to one of the scriptures, which is, in the greatest of these is love. Self-love.
How about that? Yes.
So I wish all of our Happy Black Women tried more self-love in 2019 in all areas, and especially if you want to have a juicy love relationship. So thank you so much, Debrena, for being with us.
Yes.
twice now.
Lucky me, lucky
Physically
me.
and virtually. And for those of you who are wanting to get more from Debrena session today, you can sign up for our Manifest Your Vision virtual ticket at manifestyourvision.com and get the session that everyone is raving about right now at our event today. And where can people go if they want to find out more about you and get connected to your work?
Well, milliondollarmentor.net is Grand Central for all things Debrena. They can find out about Juicy Woman University, which is still available for a few more days. I have all kinds of archives of great articles related to juicy love, juicy marriage, business, sacred self-care, personal growth, spiritual development, all that can be found at milliondollarmentor.net, as well as some free, wonderful gifts.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Debrena, for being here. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Awesome. All right, ladies, thank you so much for listening to the podcast today. And if you want to go back and listen to previous episodes, you can always go to happyblackwomanpodcast.com. We have over 120 shows for you to listen to, free of charge. You can binge listen this weekend if you like. Until then, have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Happy Black Woman podcast. If you enjoyed today's show, there are two things you can do. Number one, leave me a rating and review on iTunes. It would mean so much to me, and it would help so many more women find the show so they can be inspired as well. Number two, join our private Facebook community where you can meet hundreds of like-minded women from around the world. To join the group, go to happyblackwomantribe.com. And until next time, remember, you can do anything you want with your life, and no one can stop you but you.